Welcome, I am Fernanda Paiva, Hitchhiking Stars, and today is a video about what is the astrology of the week. So what's happening from today, Friday, the 2nd of June, until next Friday. So mainly, we're going to be talking about the full moon. So there is a full moon in Sagittarius, and this full moon has two main aspects as well, which is Mercury conjoined Uranus and Venus coming to oppose Pluto as well, and shifting from Cancer to Leo. So those are the aspects that we're going to talk about. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you the chart of the full moon as well, so you can think about how to use this energy in a constructive way. Remember, this is constructive astrology, so we're talking about how to bring that in a positive way, how to manifest these energies in a constructive, empowering, and beautiful way in your life. So how have you all been? I mean, this week has been the first quarter of the moon, so Gemini and Virgo in a square to each other. And it's been a very busy week for me. So moving places again, you can see there's a different background behind me. So I'm in Hazelmere now, looking after a Labrador. And yeah, it's just been mad, like really, really busy. I haven't even managed to post my video for Monday. It's still, I've made the video, but it's so much that I need to do in terms of timestamps and getting the video ready. So it's going to come on Monday, which is quite timely, really, and I'll let you know why in a second. But it's being very busy. So how is it for you? I don't really like when I have very busy weeks. I'm not really, I think our society makes it so honorable to be busy all the time. And I honestly, especially as an HSP, like I don't agree with that at all. Like I like to have a more paced life, and have time to catch my breath and to practice self-care and all of these activities that are kind of taken for granted. Really, I think they're extremely important. So with all of that said, let's have a look at the chart. Let me know in the comments how you've been, what's going on for you, how you feeling the transits, if you have any specific transit as well to your chart, and how you think that's manifesting in your life as well. So here we have transits for Friday the 2nd. We're still having the Jupiter North Node conjunction in Taurus, 3 degrees Taurus. So if you have anything around that degree in Taurus, that's a kind of a nice sort of thumbs up from the universe, sort of like pulling you, nudging you in the right direction somehow, like showing you the path towards this spiritual growth, towards being rewarded as well for our work, for our hard work. And especially again, because this Taurus is a lot about values, and we still have a stellium in Taurus. So if you haven't checked yet, I've done a video about the North Node in Taurus, which has a lot of information about Taurus with a lot more depth as well. So I think it's useful to look at that, especially because Taurus will be relevant for this full moon as well. Yes, believe it or not. So this is Saturday. When coming up is the build up for this full moon. So I think for the next couple of days, including today, there is a sense of intensity of energies in the air, which is classic from full moons. Now, because the full moon is in the axis of Gemini and Sagittarius, it might not be that emotional as a full moon in a water sign would be, full moon in Scorpio or Pisces or Cancer. But if you have anything that's being picked up in your chart and activating a longer transit that you're having, perhaps a Saturn transit, then it will feel a little bit more intense for you. So here we are, 4th of June. That's when the full moon is. So 13 degrees Sagittarius, 13 degrees Gemini. I mean, mind you, that's 4:46 British summertime, so it might be on the 3rd of June as well for some countries, depending where you are. So 13 Sag, Gemini. Now, when I think about these axes, I always think about information. I mean, Sagittarius is information that's connected with the truth, connected with meaning. What is the meaning behind this? How can I make meaning out of this situation and sort of like follow that thread? Whereas Gemini is general information. It's anything that we can ask a question about, like all the simple, questions that we can ask on a daily sort of life. Very much connected there. Now, what those two have in common is curiosity. There's a lot of curiosity involved. What I think this is telling us in terms of this full moon is that it might be a revelation. It might be a sense of bumping into important information, knowing something that we've been trying to know, or finding out the truth about something. This could be also related to that Sagittarius Gemini axis. And especially because, and why did I say that Taurus is important? Because both rulers of the sun and the moon are in Taurus. So Jupiter rules Sagittarius, is there in Taurus with the North Node still. And Mercury rules the sun in Gemini, so is there in Taurus as well. So again, if you haven't seen that video where I really explored Taurus very deeply, it could be a great opportunity for you to have a look if you have the time, if you have the interest, because we're still behind the scenes, behind that Gemini, Sagittarius, revelation, truth, etc. information. We still have Taurus. We still have a quest. We're still on a quest for our values, I think. And it's such an important topic. Like, I feel that we don't think about our values long enough or strong enough sometimes. What are your core values? What are your non-negotiables? So it could be a situation connected to that, like depending where this full moon is activating in your chart, where this is falling in your chart. So what are your non-negotiables in that area that you might become very aware of, or a situation might trigger you in connection to speaking your truth, revealing your truth as well. Now, because Mars is in a trine to the moon, I wouldn't imagine a massive amount of aggression necessarily connected with this full moon and this revelation, but it might be like a sort of lightning bolt, insights and thoughts and information that might come to us. And why am I saying that? Because boom, number 2, most important aspect that's happening during this full moon and will characterize the energies of this full moon is Mercury in conjunction to Uranus. So fast thinking, fast thoughts, fast communication, speaking before thinking, coming across something really quickly, or an opportunity to exchange information as well, unexpected conversations. That's the Mercury Uranus. We could really tap into some very valuable Taurus information Mercury that we didn't expect Uranus. So you get the gist of how we can mix those, but they're definitely quite important in this configuration, because it's the ruler of the sun. So it's definitely involved with the sun, with the full moon basically, which is the sun and the moon in opposition. Now, I am publishing a book on Monday about Uranus, so it's going to have a lot of information, as usually my Monday videos do, about the planet and, the cycles of the planet, what the planet stands for. And I particularly love the mind map bit, which is like thinking about all the potential subjects connected with that planet. So have a look at that video on Monday as well if you're interested, because that Mercury Uranus will be exact on Monday. I didn't time that way. I mean, I wanted to post my video last Monday. I couldn't. I was moving. Then I wanted to post it on Wednesday. And again, something else happened. And yesterday I spent pretty much the whole day working on it. But yeah, it's going to come on Monday when we have a Mercury Uranus in conjunction. So think about that. Think about that Uranus and that Mercury and tap into that precious information. So just to go back quickly to the full moon chart, and then also the ruler of that moon is Jupiter in Taurus with the North Node. So we could also let go of a lot of things that we become aware of. So we become acquainted with, we realize something. We realize the meaning or the truth of something, and we're ready to let it go. We're ready to kind of move towards the future. The North Node usually talks about the future, where we headed, where we're going to be rewarded if we move in that direction. So again, with Taurus, that direction will be the direction of our core values. It's a precious time to become very aware of your core values. And this leads us to the next core aspect that I told you as well I was going to talk about, which is Venus. Now, why Venus? Because Venus rules all of that in Taurus. So Venus will rule North Node, Jupiter, Mercury, and Uranus as well. And we have these Venus just about to shift from Cancer to Leo. But that means as well as applying to oppose Pluto as well. This is also part of this configuration of this full moon. And in fact, here we have Monday, Venus at 29, and Tuesday, Venus moving to Leo and is straight away opposing Pluto at 0 degrees in Aquarius. So again, it's like becoming obsessed about our values as well, or being shown where we're betraying ourselves as well, because we have Pluto involved. So it might bring up some of the darker sides of our relationships, of what's going on in our social circles as well with the Venus, in our families, because it was Venus in Cancer during that full moon. But we might come across some information there. And what's constructive about this is that we can then really align ourselves with our values. We can then really reject what's not aligned with our values, what's not really feeding that sense of authenticity. And a Venus moving to Leo will be talking about all things authentic, how you express yourself authentically, who you are, just being unapologetically yourself and having fun in the process. That's the Venus in Leo there. So definitely there is that element of the values and the sort of life or death situation with the opposition in Pluto, between Venus and Pluto there, and ourselves, the truth about ourselves, the truth about how we want to love or how we want to be loved as well, and all coming from the big revelation that we might have during this full moon as well. So it's a great full moon to really sit in meditation if you can, and really like absorb information, because it's full of potential things that we might realize. And I think this week will definitely have that signature. On Wednesday, the moon will be quite close to conjoining Pluto and activating that opposition again. So between Wednesday and Thursday, with the moon conjoining Pluto in opposition, opposing that Venus, we might come across again that theme. Might come across again this point that we just found out during the full moon, and then the couple of days after as well, with that Mercury Uranus and the Venus Pluto. So it might reinforce something, another layer of the situation, another layer of the information that we're coming across. And then that'll be next Friday, which I'll be back and I'll give some more updates. But this is it. This is the main key points here of this week, and especially of this full moon. Here again, the chart of the full moon, and how we can use it to have insight into ourselves, into our self-expression as well, and our self-expression aligned with our values. All right, I think this is the key here for this full moon. So keep your eyes peeled, your ears open as well. You might find out some very important things, and you might have some very powerful insights with that Mercury Uranus as well during this week. So this is it. I'm gonna keep it a little shorter today for this Friday's video. Let me know what your plans are with this full moon, if you're gonna do a little ritual, if you are a Sagittarius or a Gemini, or what's going on there for you. And I'll be seeing you all on Monday when my next video comes out. So until then, bye.